Hi, it's Meke, and I'm back with another free plugin. This one's called Temperance Light, and it claims to be the world's first musical reverb. As you can see, it is free until the 31st of December 2025, so if you're watching this after that, it's no longer available. I will put a link down to the plugin below. What they're saying is this reverb is mostly focused on the music, and it uses a different approach whereby it takes a 12-note chromatic scale and then uses that. So you can choose notes to focus on rather than working with, whatever algorithm or like a defined reverb within the tool itself. There's a lot more obviously worth reading into it and what it can do. That's an example of what it looks like. And they've given you a bit of a blurb around it. So they're saying imagine a room filled with 1,000 tuning forks, each tuned to a different frequency. So you can control those specific notes and those specific tones. And that's basically what they're saying is possible. It is available now. All you need to do is go to their site, as I mentioned before, click on claim free license. You'll see there it is free in your basket. You can check out as a guest. You can complete the order if you've already got an account with Eventide. They'll send you an email with the license key and activation instructions, and then that is that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Cubase, load it onto a track, and then we'll show off what that looks like. Something I should add before I load up the DAW is once you've got the email with your license key, you'll be asked to sign into Eventide to actually register the product, and then that way it gives you a way in which you can download it. So to register the product, you literally input the license key into this, and once you've done that, you'll literally add that to your account, and then you'll be able to download it. And once it's registered to your iLok account, you'll be able to just click on that link and then go to the Temperance Light download page. And depending on what your operating system is, you can then download from here. And there is an installer. So to be honest, it's probably the easiest way to do it is just to have an installer run. So you've got Windows and you've got Mac. So it obviously works on both systems. You're not limited. And there's also a user guide. Obviously, it might sound silly and probably a lot of us don't read them, but it's worth having a look. Okay, so I've opened up Cubase. I've created a track. I've chucked in a nice little chord progression, at least I think it's quite nice. And then we're going to add in our effects. We're going to add in our Eventide reverb. So we just got Temperance Light. We're going to see what it sounds like. You see there, it's absolutely keyed into like G major chimes. You can see there, it's focused on the G major chimes. So it's picking up any G notes, D notes, and B notes, and then working on those together. And this is just currently the presets. I'm not doing anything drastic with this. You can see there, you've got some tutorial stuff. So it actually lets you play around with what it sounds like with positive temperance. We can crank this track a bit so we can hear it better. Negative, and you can see here again, you can adjust like modal response, you can bring that down. You can see you can change the attack and how soon before the reverb begins. You can adjust all of these. The minimum frequency and the maximum frequency. So you could actually just say, I'm going to cut out anything below this. And you'll see there, it's going to just pick up on these frequencies from this point onwards. You can adjust your output dB, all of that's adjustable as you'd expect in any plugin. And you can actually lock the notes. So you see there, it says when it's locked, you can prevent preset changes. So that way you can focus on just the selected notes. And you can, throughout this, say, I want to select these particular notes. So we know that we've got a C minor, for example, so we can make sure that that's been picked up on. We could then say, well, actually, I've got an F, so let's highlight that too. And we can adjust the tempo, so we can move the bias towards or away from the selected note. So again, we can just really adjust it. And I quite like this visualization. I think that's quite cool. And again, there's a bunch of presets within this, and obviously I think a lot of the artistry with this will be finding what works for you. You know, you'll see there, I've started with the default preset, or the preset, sorry. You see there, I started with the preset, and then I've just taken, I know I've got an F, I'm including that. If I include the C, you can hear the difference of that. And any other notes that I want it to pick up on, I can then focus on those. So I've got B's in there. And you'll see the difference, it just adds those tones in. And again, we can temper away or closer to it. And it's showing me there are other notes that are available within that. So if I do that, it just completely changes the tone. So they're not wrong. It really does focus on the note. You know, we're getting a little bit of distortion because I brought the volume up. So I think keep that in mind. Just make sure you're keeping an eye on your levels and you don't creep into the red there. We've completely done that. But like I say, this is for the purpose of showing this off. This is really good. I really like this. I think it's really positive. So yeah, like I say, this is really good. I think it gives you lots of options and you can really play around with what you want it to do. And the interesting part will be taking it beyond what the default or presets do and really playing around with it, because I think there are elements of this that you get some really interesting sounds out of. So yeah, let me know what you're making. Let me know, share some links below. I know previously somebody shared something that was really cool, hearing what they made with the plugin that I suggested. And I really liked what they did and I really liked where that was going. So again, if you're interested, pick it up. It's not going to cost you anything. And this, I think, is one of those plugins that might be a bit of a sleeper one. Let me know what you're making. Let me know what you use this for. I'd be really intrigued to see what you make of it. Anyway, in the meantime, I've been Meke, and I'll see you again with another one of these free plugin videos.